The Chicago Bears are no longer being treated as a feel-good surprise or a cute storyline that people enjoy talking about for a few minutes before moving on. Something has shifted, and you can feel it in the way the conversation around this team has changed. When a major national voice goes on television and openly says that the combination of Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson is going to win a Super Bowl one day, that is not just noise. That is a reflection of how different this Bears team looks, how different it feels, and how different it is being perceived compared to years past. And now, with a home playoff game against the Los Angeles Rams and a spot in the NFC Championship game on the line, the moment feels very real. For a long time, doubt followed this franchise everywhere. Some of that doubt was unfair, but a lot of it was earned. Years of coaching changes, quarterback resets, half measures, and constant rebuilding cycles created a reputation that the Bears simply could not shake. Every time there was a little bit of hope, it felt like it came crashing down just as quickly. That history matters, and it explains why so many people were slow to believe that this season could be different. The Bears had to prove it on the field, not with talk, not with hype, but with wins. What has stood out most during this run is the mentality that has been built inside the building. There is a clear identity starting to form, and it shows up every week. The offense has been one of the most productive units in football, sitting near the top of the league in almost every meaningful category. Even with missed throws, drops, and moments of inconsistency, the overall structure works. There's rhythm, confidence, and aggression in the way this team plays on that side of the ball. It already feels dangerous, and it still feels like there's room to grow. The biggest question, and the one that continues to hang over everything, is the defense. There have been stretches where the defense looks capable, disciplined, and disruptive, especially in second halves when adjustments are made. But there have also been too many moments where yards come too easily and opponents control the tempo. Injuries have played a massive role in that inconsistency. Key players missed significant time, and that matters when evaluating what this unit really is. It is hard to fully judge a defense that never had the chance to be whole for an extended stretch. Even so, the standard does not need to be perfection. This team does not need a historically dominant defense to be a real contender. A solid, reliable unit that ranks in the top half of the league would completely change the ceiling. A defense that can force teams into uncomfortable situations, get off the field, and occasionally flip momentum would unlock another level for this roster. With the coaching staff in place, there's belief that once the right pieces are added and healthy, that version of a defense is realistic. What makes this season special is where the Bears are relative to their timeline. This feels like the beginning of something, not the final product. In the first true year of building toward a long-term vision, the team has already won a playoff game and pushed itself into the divisional round. That is not something to gloss over. That matters. It signals that the foundation is real, not imaginary. It tells you that the progress is tangible and not just theoretical. There is also an important lesson from the past that cannot be ignored. The franchise has experienced false starts before, seasons that felt like breakthroughs but ultimately were not sustained. That is why the next step is so critical. This cannot be a one-year spike. It has to become the new standard. The difference this time is that the pieces appear to fit together in a way that feels intentional. The coaching, the quarterback, the roster construction, and the overall direction are aligned. Leadership plays a huge role in that alignment. This team has a head coach who brings edge, accountability, and identity. Players know who they're supposed to be and how they are supposed to play. The quarterback continues to grow, showing flashes of brilliance that make it easy to believe in what is coming next. The offensive weapons are legitimate, diverse, and capable of stressing defenses in multiple ways. Nothing about this feels accidental. All of that sets the stage for what comes next, a playoff matchup against a Rams team that deserves respect. This is not an opponent that can be taken lightly, regardless of records or narratives. They are well-coached, balanced, and experienced. They know how to win in big moments, and they will not beat themselves. This game is going to require discipline, toughness, and complete focus from start to finish. The matchup itself feels different from rivalries filled with emotion and hostility. There is a sense of mutual respect between these two coaching staffs, and that makes the chess match even more intriguing. Both sides know the strengths and weaknesses involved, and both will spend the week trying to exploit every possible edge. Weather could become a factor, especially in Chicago, and that introduces another variable that can swing momentum if handled correctly. At the end of the day, the Bears are here because they earned it. They fought through expectations, criticism, and their own history to put themselves in this position. Many people did not believe they would reach this point, but belief inside the locker room never wavered. Now, with everything on the line and nothing guaranteed beyond the next game, the opportunity is sitting right in front of them, waiting to be taken. As the focus turns fully toward the divisional round, the weight of the moment becomes impossible to ignore. This is the point in the season where everything tightens up, where every mistake is magnified and every adjustment matters. The Bears are stepping into this matchup at home, in front of their crowd, with a chance to take another step that many people did not think would come this soon. The opponent brings experience, confidence, and a reputation for punishing teams that lose discipline for even a few snaps. This is not about hype anymore. This is about execution. The Rams arrive as a team that feels complete, the kind of group that can beat you in different ways depending on what you give them. Offensively, they are creative and patient, capable of sustaining long drives or striking quickly if a defense slips. Defensively, they are not flawless, but they are opportunistic and physical, especially when the game slows down and becomes about field position. That balance is what makes them dangerous, and it is why this game demands the best version of the Bears on both sides of the ball. One of the key storylines hovering over this matchup is the environment. Playing outdoors in Chicago in the winter is not just about cold temperatures. It is about comfort, rhythm, and mental toughness. Snow, wind, and slick footing can change how a game unfolds, especially for a quarterback who prefers controlled conditions. History shows that these elements can disrupt timing and force offenses to simplify, which places an even greater emphasis on decision-making and ball security. If the Bears handle those conditions better, that alone can swing the balance. That makes the defensive approach critical. The Bears cannot afford slow starts or long stretches of soft coverage that allow easy yardage. Against an offense this experienced, bending without breaking too often eventually leads to breaking. The defense has shown that it can adjust, tighten up, and play with urgency, particularly in second halves. The challenge now is doing that from the opening kickoff, setting a physical tone early and forcing the Rams to earn everything they get. On the other side, the Bears' offense has an opportunity to apply pressure of its own. This is where confidence and aggression matter. Settling for short gains and conservative decisions will only invite problems later. Sustaining drives, finishing in the red zone, and controlling the tempo keeps the defense fresh and limits the chances for the Rams to find rhythm. The weapons are there, the structure is there, and the quarterback has already shown he can rise to big moments. This is about trusting that and leaning into it. What makes this situation so compelling is how much growth has already happened in such a short time. The Bears are no longer hoping opponents make mistakes. They are forcing mistakes. They are responding when punched instead of folding. They have already cleared mental hurdles that used to feel impossible, including beating rivals in high-pressure situations and closing out games that once would have slipped away. That experience matters now more than ever. Still, nothing is guaranteed. Playoff football does not care about momentum from last week or narratives built over a season. It rewards teams that stay locked in for 4 quarters and punish themselves the least. Every snap is its own battle, every possession a test of discipline. The Bears know that if they fall behind early, digging out against a team like this becomes significantly harder. Fast starts, clean communication, and physical intensity are non-negotiable. There's also a larger picture quietly forming behind this game. Win or lose, the Bears have announced themselves as a legitimate force in the conference. They're no longer chasing relevance, they're shaping it. But opportunities like this do not come often, and when they do, you have to take advantage. A win sends the Bears to the NFC Championship game, and places them one step away from the biggest stage. That kind of moment can accelerate belief, growth, and confidence in ways nothing else can. This is where identity shows up. This is where leadership is tested. The Bears have talked all season about toughness, unity, and resilience, and now they get to prove it against one of the best teams they will face. The crowd will be loud, the conditions unforgiving, and the margin for error razor-thin. How they respond to adversity, how they adjust when things do not go perfectly, and how they finish would define this chapter of the season. Everything built so far leads directly into this game, and everything that comes next depends on how it's handled. The Bears are not sneaking up on anyone anymore. They are standing face-to-face with a respected opponent, fully aware of what is at stake, ready to see how far this version of the team can really go. There is also an emotional layer to this matchup that cannot be ignored, even if it is not rooted in rivalry. This is about validation for the work that has been done behind closed doors. Players who were doubted, coaches who were questioned, and a franchise that carried the weight of past failures now have a chance to reinforce that this turnaround is not temporary. Every snap in this game carries the pressure of that reality, and how the Bears handle it will say a lot about who they are becoming. The adjustments made throughout the season have shown that this coaching staff understands how to respond when things are not working. That flexibility matters in the playoffs, where initial game plans rarely survive contact with reality. The ability to recognize when an opponent is trying to exploit and counter it quickly can be the difference between advancing and going home. The Bears have already shown flashes of that adaptability, and this game will demand it again, likely more than once. Confidence will also be tested in subtle ways. There will be moments when a play does not work, when the crowd goes quiet, or when momentum briefly swings the other way. The teams that survive these moments are the ones that do not panic or abandon their identity. Staying aggressive without becoming reckless, staying patient without becoming passive, and trusting preparation over impulse will all come into play as the game unfolds. As kickoff approaches, the sense around this team feels different than it has in years. This does not feel like borrowed time or a lucky break. It feels earned, built through growth, accountability, and belief. The Bears are stepping into this game knowing exactly who they are, aware of what still needs to improve, and ready to measure themselves against a standard that once felt out of reach. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In what could become one of the most talked about controversies of the season, speculation is swirling around the Chicago Bears as head coach Ben Johnson reportedly prepares to make a pivotal decision regarding the potential suspension of a key player. Sources close to the team suggest that Johnson has been weighing the situation carefully, balancing the impact on team dynamics with the growing media and fan pressure surrounding the incident. While official statements remain scarce, insiders indicate that the Bears' locker room has been abuzz with uncertainty, and whispers of internal debates have only fueled speculation outside Hallis Hall. Some believe Johnson is leaning toward a decisive move, one that could send a message about discipline and accountability within the organization. Others argue that maintaining the player's presence on the roster might be strategically important, especially as the team navigates a challenging stretch of the season. The player at the center of the controversy has yet to publicly comment, though close associates suggest he is confident in his standing with Johnson and the coaching staff. Analysts are divided. Some see a suspension as a necessary step to preserve team culture, while others warn that it could disrupt on-field chemistry just when the Bears need cohesion most. Social media has exploded with fan theories and heated debates, with hashtags speculating on everything from potential trade implications to how the decision could affect locker room morale. Former players and commentators have weighed in, offering contrasting perspectives, some highlighting the importance of strict leadership from Johnson, others cautioning against reactionary moves that could backfire. As the rumor mill accelerates, the anticipation is palpable. Johnson's ultimate call could reverberate far beyond the team, influencing perceptions of his authority and shaping the narrative for the Bears season. Whether this move becomes a defining moment of his tenure or a footnote in a tumultuous year, one thing is clear: the Bears fan base and the wider NFL community will be watching every development closely, ready to dissect the fallout from what could be one of the most significant decisions Johnson makes as head coach. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.